Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today is a little bit different than what we've been normally doing. I am calling a bunch of my friends today, some of which who are married, some of which who we are going to pretend for the purposes of this video are married, to ask them a question about procreation. In the movie, The Big Chill, a group of friends that come together and they're mourning the loss of their friend, but you also kind of get to see their interconnections and them catching up and living life and all that fun stuff. So in there's a scenario between two friends, Meg and Sarah, who have been really good friends for a really long time. Sarah is married to Harold, and essentially Meg is telling Sarah, like, I want a baby. I want to find one of our friends this weekend to make a baby with because, I know them. I've known them forever. Like, I think they would be really great people to procreate with, but I would raise the child essentially on my own. It would be my child. She asked Sam, and Sam's all like, no, girl, love you, but no. And she's like, fine with it. And then Michael's all like, hey, girl, like, I'll give you some. And she's like, no. Jet Goldblum. And then Nick also says no to her. And then she's talking with Sarah about how great Harold is and how great their like family is and how envious she is of her. So then Sarah, the great friend that she is, goes and talks to Harold and is like, you know what? You should go sleep with Meg. Like, give her a baby.
You can always be counted on to do the right thing. It's a disgusting curse.
What? I like to think I'm a good friend, but like, I don't think I would ever give my husband the okay to go sleep with one of my friends to make a baby. Never would I just be like, yeah, you could sleep with him. It's fine. You can do it the old-fashioned way. No big deal. Our love life will be the same. It's fine. No, I don't. This movie is wild. I'm sure there are friends and family members out there that are totally willing to do that. However, the point that made this very interesting is that Sarah then just allows Meg and Harold to sleep together to create this baby. So they do it the old-fashioned way. They get together, they make a baby, and Sarah's just chilling on the porch, letting it happen. Everybody was in consent here. It was all consensual. I just think it's a very interesting take on how much people are willing to share their loved ones to do this. I'm not saying it's not possible. I do definitely believe there are people out there who would be willing to do this exact same scenario. I'm sure there are people out there who have done this exact same scenario. However, today we're looking at how realistic it is. So we're going to ask a bunch of people. We're going to pull some of my friends, some of which are married, some of which are going to pretend to be married for the purposes of this question, which may skew the results, but I mean, like, how realistic is this really? And we're going to see what they say. I have a feeling today that we will get more like predominant people saying absolutely not, but I think there may be one or two that consider it until I think I throw in the part where I say, well, they would sleep together. And then I don't think the responses are going to be, I don't think anybody's going to say yes to that. I personally don't. I know my friends who I'm calling, and I just don't think they would be okay with that. I personally would not be okay with that either. I'm not very good at sharing my loved ones. So, that being said, we're not judging. As long as everybody is in consent with how a baby is made, I think making a baby is beautiful, and bringing babies into the world and giving them loving families, all of that is beautiful. I just don't think this is a realistic situation. So that's what we're proving here today. Let's go call my friends, see what they say, and we'll tally up the results at the end.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm asking a question. It is based on a movie. I am not truly asking this, but I want an honest reaction to it. Okay? Okay, so it's a weird question. That's why I'm prefacing. Okay. If I were your friend and we've known each other for years and years, and I wanted a baby, but I didn't have any men in my life, would you, being married to your current husband, be like, you know what? Why don't you just borrow my husband and make a baby, and you can just, use his parts and then raise your baby on your own?
Okay, when you say use his parts, I would hope that you're thinking, you know what?
I'm not. It's old fashioned. You're making a baby.
Absolutely not. And I am shocked that you as a friend would even ask me that. So no. And I'm actually starting to reconsider this friendship.
No!
No. That is so crazy and weird. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So funny. Oh my god, that's crazy. Nope, not in a million years.
I mean, yeah, those are the answers I expected. I want a baby, but I don't have anybody to make a baby with. And you, being the wonderful friend that you are, you offer to let me borrow your husband to make a baby. Is that something that realistically you think you would ever do?
I mean, it's something I would definitely consider for, like, you or one of my sisters. It would take a lot of, like, conversation around what that would look like over time before I would, like, agree to anything. Yeah. Just because it would be like, how involved is he? How involved can I be? How, like, do I want children? Do we have children? There's, like, a lot of factors in that. But yes, I would consider that for a sister, which I consider you, your sister level.
That's sweet. Yeah, and I think, in the movie, that is the same scenario. I think they've been really close friends for a really long time, so I do think that she probably thinks of her on that level as well.
Well, I just, kind of put myself in that position of, like, if I wanted the baby, too, I would want to, like, maybe, I don't know.
She straight up is just, like, take my husband, go sleep with him, and make a baby, which, like...
Sleep with him?
Yeah. Does that change your answer?
Based her all the way. I mean, that I would not be okay with, the sex part.
Yeah. Yeah.
How expensive is it going to... there's so many factors to it. Again, like, turkey baster it up. Or... Everybody's
like, that would never work. And I'm like, why wouldn't it work? I mean, it's the same idea.
Turkey baster?
Yeah, they're like, it wouldn't work. You can't do that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you can.
Very many freaking soap operas. It works. What do they think they do with artificial insemination?
I know.
Artificial insemination, it's just like a big turkey baster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting, question-wise.
Yeah.
But, hello.
Hi. We're going to pretend like we're really good friends, which we are, but this is a fake scenario, okay? But I want your real response to it. Does that make sense?
Real response.
Yeah. Would you be somebody who would do that? Would you say, like, here, take my husband, go make a baby, and then live your life?
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do in this fake scenario, do me and my husband have children already? Children of our own?
Yes, you have 2.
We have 2 children already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, and my husband's okay with this. Like, it's like I'm the deciding vote here. Like, everyone's on board.
So
I need to be able to give the okay.
Yeah, I mean, in the film, the idea is, and I don't know what order it is, but the idea is everybody is on board. Everybody comes to the conclusion of, yes, we're all okay with this.
It's a toughie. I've often gone through the thought in my head, so, like, at the end of Glee, for spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
She's never had kids of her own, and she goes to have, like, her best friend's kids because they're gay, so they can't. So she's basically their surrogate, but at the same time, like, it'd be weird if, you didn't have children of your own yet. But at the same time, like, if we're good enough friends, this is something you really want, you want to be helpful for it. But, like, I think ultimately I'd probably end up saying no for the sake of just, like, I mean, if you just needed sperm to be able to do it, that'd be different. But, like, I guess going through with the actual act of it is kind of the weirder part. Are you, like, are you talking about the bigchill?
I am talking about the bigchill. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was one of those movies that was on my list. Like, everyone talks about this. I should watch it. And I watched it, and that was exactly the part where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The reasoning behind it was why she gave the okay was because she knew, it was just that. It was a transaction and not necessarily
Right.
Which she also had her own flaws. So,
well, yeah.
But
and I think that kind of setup could work for people in the real world. I think it's possible that people have done that and have agreed to that, and it is, like you said, it's just a transaction. Like, we're doing this for the end result of her to be pregnant. There is no intimacy involved. But I think for a lot of us, it's hard to separate that line of intimacy in an act that is typically so intimate, Yeah.
In a real life world, if that was just the case and you just really wanted a baby, it'd be like,
there's other ways of doing it. Yeah. I, as your friend, not your sister, because that puts a whole nother level to it. If I was your friend and I wanted to have a baby, would you offer your husband to be like, here, you know what? Go take my husband and make a baby, and like, it'll be your baby, but like, we'll just provide you with the man parts.
No, I would not. Here's the thing, I wouldn't mind. Well, no, that's wrong too. It's more of, I don't know, but no. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Just recording. Sorry.
Patrick, let's say the roles were reversed. Would you say, hey, my friend, borrow my wife. You can put a baby in her, and then when she gives birth, she'll just give you the baby, and it's yours to raise.
Okay, hold on. I'm very confused, so give me a second.
I think it's easier the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, but are they having sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so it's not like a donation.
No, because this movie was from the 80s, and like, I don't know how affordable, like, I mean, it's not really that affordable now either, but like,
He was like, I want to be a father, let me have sex with Daddy. And then, like,
That's why I think it works. I think it works a bit differently.
yeah.
I don't want any of my friends having sex with Daddy to procreate.
Yeah. I'm interested. Let me know if anyone comes back with yes, though. I'm sure there's people out there that would be fine with it.
hello?
Hi. Okay.
Hello.
So, question. We're going to pretend that in this fictional world, you are married. You have a husband for the purposes of this question. I want your honest answer to this, okay? So in this scenario,
Married, right?
you're married to a man. Yes.
Okay.
Just take my husband, sleep with him, and make a baby, and then, like, it's your baby in a world. Is that something that you would ever do?
In the real world? This is a hard question. I 50, there's this, do you want just a yes or no, or an explanation?
I'll take whatever you will give me. I want your immediate, like, yes or no, and then maybe we can delve
I'm
deeper.
going to say no. However, I
Yeah.
would probably be open to, like, a sperm donation kind of situation.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
It totally does. That's kind of been a lot of the responses.
Yeah, to help you out, but not the actual act itself.
And I think that's where the movie kind of takes that, movie spin to make it either, well, A, more interesting, and B, it's just easier for them to just impregnate her then and there.
Is that the only question?
Yeah, that was it.
Darn.
Definitely come up with more. I could make this a series. I'm sure I have there's plenty of hypothetical questions out there, so. But that's the only one from this movie, so.
All of romantic comedies are hypothetical questions.
You're not wrong. Thank you for letting me interrupt your day and ask you a weird question.
No worries. Okay.
All right. Bye. Whew. Okay, so results are in, and is anybody shocked? I'm not. I had a feeling that most of my friends, once they heard the part of allowing me, my character, to sleep with their husband, probably would not go for it. And that's understandable. I mean, most people find the act of sex and procreation as being something intimate and something that needs to be talked about and not necessarily something that you share with other people. So, is this actual scenario realistic? I don't think so. And it's mainly because the spouse sleeps with the friend. And most people are not open to that. That being said, there is some truth to it. I do think that depending on your relationship with some people would be willing to share their sperm and help you create a family, depending on how close you are to them. And luckily in this day and age, there are a lot of different ways that you can go about doing that. You don't need to necessarily allow your loved one to sleep with your best friend, which, again, we're not judging here. Some people are totally okay with that.
But I wasn't surprised to find out that a lot of my friends found that particular act to be very intimate and were not open to sharing their partner in that way. So that's all I've got. I'm hoping to do a little bit more of these. I think they're really fun and it's an interesting question to ask. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel below and follow us on Instagram, untitled_women, and you can find me on Twitter at untitledmeg. That's all we've got. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye.